CTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is Labor Day, September 4th, 2017, and now the news at noon. Reported in the Journal, Native Americans gathered in the desert plains of White Mesa, Utah on Labor Day weekend as singers and dancers celebrated the end of summer with bear dances and other time-held traditions. Although the annual bear dance and powwow are held on the satellite Ute Mountain Ute Reservation, Navajos also participated, according to Boyd Lopez, coordinator of the event. The powwow is held at the beginning of the bear dance, so it is a contest powwow that we have, Lopez said. Utes participated along with Navajos and other tribes and the Navajo tribe as well. The tribe holds the celebration and ceremony on Labor Day weekend to signify the end of the summer season and the bears' preparation for hibernation. Ute Mountain Utes from the main reservation in Toyac, Colorado, and other towns also attended. This is the time of the summer where we are getting to put a lot of things away, he said. As far as the bear dance, we come to that point when the bear is going to get ready to go into hibernation. The event is an opportunity to socialize and spend time with friends and family. Out of respect for Ute tradition, including sacred dances and songs, only the gourd dance was photographed. Dancers and participants were photographed with expressed permission. A Ute Mountain Ute and media liaison, Angela Baca, explained the ritual of the gourd dance. They traded songs and traditions. It's a communal offering. Everyone brings and gives it away, Baca said. Whatever you have, you give and share your resources. We want representation of a community tradition of pride. Interestingly, the National Weather Service also stated that the beginning of September is the meteorological start of fall and December 1st is the opening of winter. But astronomically speaking, autumn is marked at the equinox, which falls here on Friday, September 22nd.
This story is from the Cortez Journal. A former Dolores County Sheriff's deputy has been arrested on suspicion of child sexual abuse involving 5 boys at various times over the past decade. Joshua Hemphill, age 25 of Montrose, was arrested last week. His bail was maintained at $250,000 at a hearing Thursday, court officials said. Court records allege Hemphill sexually abused a 12-year-old boy he met through a mentoring program in 2014, a 13-year-old boy that he met at through a mentoring program event in 2016, even though he had been dismissed as a volunteer, and 3 other boys. 2 of the boys reported being drugged and sexually assaulted. Officials suspect there may be other victims. Hemphill's case was assigned to Public Defender Patrick Crane. The agency does not comment on cases. In July, a boy in South Dakota told his probation officer that Hemphill had sexually abused him in Colorado in 2014. Hemphill was arrested last week for violating a restraining order another family obtained to keep him away from their children, including a boy Hemphill met through a mentoring program event last year. The family reported Hemphill contacted them to apologize and say he wanted to pay for the boy's therapy. Hemphill acknowledged having sexual contact with 3 other boys with ages ranging from 9 to 15, dating back to at least 2007, court records say. Hemphill said one of the cases involved the son of an Idaho woman he was dating while serving on a Mormon church mission. Hemphill had worked for the Mesa County Sheriff's Office as an alternative sentencing officer and a detention deputy from December 2014 to August 2016 when he was terminated. Mesa County's Public Information Officer Megan Terlecki would not disclose the reason for his termination, but she said they were unrelated to the accusations and involved nothing criminal in nature. Hemphill worked for the Dolores County Sheriff's Office from December 2016 to July, initially training as a patrol deputy, the Daily Sentinel reported. He had only been working as a patrol deputy for about 4 months, Dolores County Sheriff Jerry Martin said, when the Colorado Bureau of Investigation notified the office on July 16th that Hemphill was under investigation. Hemphill was put on administrative leave on July 17th and resigned on July 27th, Martin said. Hemphill is expected to be in court on September 28th to hear the formal charges against him, court officials said.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a petition calling for the city of Durango to commit to transitioning to 100% locally produced and renewable electric by 2050 has garnered hundreds of signatures. In addition to cutting carbon emissions, the petition states the transition would create jobs and stabilize energy rates as the cost of fossil fuels continue to rise. 300 people have signed the petition, said organizer Lisa Ray of the Durango chapter of the Sierra Club. The Sierra Club's Ready for 100 campaign, which challenges cities to set a goal to transition to 100% clean power, inspired Ray and her husband. We thought Durango needed to be part of that movement, she said. The goal is to meet all of the needs of people living and working in the city with renewable power. Since she started collecting signatures, an unofficial coalition called Durango Energy Future has formed. It includes representatives from Indivisible Durango, the San Juan Citizens Alliance, Sierra Club, Sustainability Alliance of Southwest Colorado, Local First, and other groups. Ray said a lack of leadership at the national and state levels about climate change means individuals have to take action at the local level. But there are also compelling economic reasons to pursue locally produced renewable energy. Millions of dollars leave the community to pay for electricity. Locally produced energy could keep that money in the community, she said. The Durango Coalition plans to present its petition to Durango City Council in the next few months and to ask the councilors to sign a resolution that outlines the goals stated in the document.
According to the Cortez Journal, guns, marijuana, and Mexican lager allegedly were in the mix in an accidental shooting in the Vista Verde Village trailer park east of Cortez on August 25th, according to the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office. A woman in a shed behind unit number 41 was sitting on a bed when she was grazed by a bullet that went through a wall, causing a superficial leg wound. Responding to a 911 call, sheriff deputies arrived and after an investigation issued resident Kevin Ward, age 22, a court summons for reckless endangerment and prohibited use of a weapon. According to the incident report, Ward told deputies he had sat on his AR-15 rifle, causing it to fire a round accidentally. The exit hole from the bedroom of the trailer home matched the trajectory of the entrance hole into the adjacent shed. In the room where the shot was fired, deputies observed various containers of marijuana and empty Mexican lager beer cans. They further observed that Ward slurred his speech and had difficulty standing. Deputies found the rifle under a bed with a round in the chamber and 18 rounds in a 20-round magazine, according to the police report. A loaded handgun in a holster was also laying on the floor in the room. 2 children were sleeping in a room next door when the incident occurred. The weapons were confiscated by deputies as evidence.
From the Journal, in Colorado, Governor John Hickenlooper, state lawmakers, and dozens of young immigrants and activists urged President Donald Trump on Friday to keep federal protections for those immigrants whose parents brought them as children to the U.S. illegally. About 17,000 immigrants in Colorado have benefited under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA, which allows those brought by their parents without documentation to temporarily live, study, and work in the U.S. The White House said Trump will announce a decision Tuesday. He had faced a Tuesday deadline set by a group of Republican state lawmakers who have threatened to challenge the program in court if the administration does not start to dismantle it by then. At a Capitol rally attended by Hickenlooper, Democratic House Speaker Crisanta Duran, and others, several immigrants spoke of the uncertainty they were experiencing. Gutierrez said the Childhood Arrivals program had allowed her to work as a nursing assistant to help pay for college. She moved here from Mexico with her family in 2005. It's kind of out of my hands and out of my control, and that's one of the worst feelings because I kind of feel helpless. The DACA program was enacted by executive order by President Barack Obama and affects nearly 800,000 people nationwide. Some would say ensuring more votes for the party of the president at the time. The constitutional side of this issue is to deal with enforcing and/or reforming the legal immigration process, which was established to provide security for America and its citizens. This has been made into an emotional issue, spinning those who moved to the U.S. illegally as somehow the victim, while those who desire or need to come to America continue to go through the arduous available legal process already in place.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, Colorado's sex offender registry is unconstitutional, subjecting offenders to cruel and unusual punishment by the public and restrictions on their ability to find work or homes long after completing prison or probation and parole sentences, a federal judge has ruled. U.S. District Court Judge Richard Match ruled Thursday in the case of 3 offenders who want to remove their information from the registry the latest example of courts limiting states' efforts to keep track of offenders. Match wrote that the registry exposes the registrants to punishments inflicted not by the state, but by fellow citizens. The ruling has no immediate effect even for the 3 offenders named in the case, said their attorney Alison Rutenberg. But each can use the ruling to ask state judges to remove them from the registry. The decision still could have sweeping implications for Colorado and potentially other states, dependent on how state judges and other officials respond this fall. Colorado's Attorney General says she is considering next steps after a federal judge's ruling that the state's sex offender registry is unconstitutional. Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman said Friday that the Colorado Bureau of Investigation will keep operating the registry, which includes names, photos, and other information about offenders. Kaufman says she is committed to having a robust sex offender registry in our state that protects the public. Rutenberg said Colorado offenders can use Match's decision to ask state judges to remove them from the registry or to defend themselves against charges of failing to register. If the state appeals to the 10th Circuit Court but fails to get the order overturned, the case also could be cited in other states, she said. And now here's our weather report.
Thanks to northwestern wildfires, for the most part in Montana and Idaho, a smoky haze is expected to move in from the north and spread across the western slope today, with more overnight and through tomorrow. There will continue to be some late afternoon clouds, possibly mainly over the San Juan Mountains. Later in the week, we'll have some slight chances of showers, the first Wednesday afternoon till midnight, and then again Thursday night into Friday morning. These are so slight at this point, I prefer to wait and see if the trough off our west coast strengthens enough to actually deliver any at all. However, by Wednesday's broadcast, that will be better understood. Very dry conditions are present, so we will need to be very careful with any fires. Low will continue to lift northeast out of Maine this morning and will move into the northern Atlantic. The trailing edge is stalled over the southeast but will diminish by afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms are expected for portions of Florida and Georgia. A cold front will spread south into the central and southern plains and east through the Mississippi and Ohio valleys, which will reach the eastern states by Wednesday morning. A long swath of showers and thunderstorms will develop along and ahead of the passing frontal boundary. Strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible today from eastern Missouri to the Great Lakes region. Some of these storms may produce periods of higher rainfall. The precipitation will cover much of the eastern seaboard by late Tuesday. What's left of what was Tropical Cyclone Lydia moisture will move into parts of the southwest and southern and central California. This will trigger scattered showers and thunderstorms. Precipitation over that area will taper off during the overnight hours. By Wednesday, Hurricane Irma will be threatening Puerto Rico and travel through the Bahamas Thursday. So as the weekend approaches and progresses, that will be the big weather news and will affect Florida and the Gulf Coast. Today's high is expected to be 89, with the next 4 declining into the lower 80s. Winds will be in the 5 to 10 mile per hour range, and lows will run middle 50s. Somewhat smoky skies will prevail for the first half of the week. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, for Labor Day weekend, Colorado Department of Transportation, Colorado State Patrol, and local law enforcement is conducting a statewide Heat is On DUI enforcement period. Sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols through September 5th are aimed at keeping impaired drivers off Colorado roads. The crackdown started August 18th and includes 105 law enforcement agencies. Law enforcement cited 974 impaired drivers during last year's Labor Day weekend DUI blitz, an average of 54 arrests per day. A DUI offense is 100% avoidable, Darrell Link, CDOT Office of Transportation Safety Director, said in a news release. As you're gearing up for your holiday weekend celebrations, plan ahead for safe, reliable, sober transportation. There's no reason to put yourself or others at risk by driving impaired. First-time DUI offenders can be punished with up to 1 year in jail, license suspension, and steep fines. Penalties increase for repeat offenders. For more information and tips for staying safe on the road, visit www.heatisoncolorado.com.
August 27th through September 2nd, last week's CO2 report is in with an average of 404.19. Week before last was 404.48. 1 year ago was 400.95, and 10 years ago 381.53. Although it burns cleaner than coal, natural gas is still a fossil fuel. The emissions from conventional gas power plants still contribute to global warming. Natural gas is made up of hydrocarbon molecules. When we burn gas to power steam turbines, those hydrocarbons react with oxygen in the air, and that reaction produces greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. A consortium of small energy companies is building a new kind of gas power plant on the Texas coast. It uses a technology called the alum cycle. The alum cycle paves the way for a zero-emissions gas power plant. A conventional power plant burns natural gas to heat water and turns it into steam. That steam is then used to spin turbines and power a generator. These are released through smokestacks into the atmosphere. The alum cycle doesn't use steam to drive the turbines. It uses carbon dioxide. This relatively inert gas can be recycled through the power plant many times. No smokestack necessary. A zero emissions technology that's much simpler and cheaper to use. More power from less gas. An alum cycle power plant isn't just cleaner than conventional combined cycle plants, it's also about 47% more efficient. In a conventional power plant, hot steam and pollutant gases billow out of smokestacks continuously. Beyond being dirty, they're also a waste of heat energy, and there's no good ways to generate electricity from a cloud of smog in the sky. In an alum cycle power plant, these gases are looped back into the furnace and much less heat is wasted. More electricity can be generated by the same quantity of fuel. We all have varying views on the severity of global warming, but regardless of opinions, the appeal of this technology is high, a more efficient energy system.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment has publicly released for the first time the names of Colorado businesses that were found to violate wage laws since a new law went into effect April 13th. This year, the legislature passed the Wage Theft Transparency Act, which reversed a longstanding state law that did not allow the names of businesses that violated wage laws to become public. Governor John Hickenlooper signed the act into law in April. The state denied a Denver media outlet's request for a list of companies that committed wage theft from 2011 through March 2017. The data show that nearly 130 employers across the state were ordered to pay employees $547,780 in back pay. An additional $170,750 was ordered in fines to the state. In La Plata County, 2 businesses were listed. The Palace Restaurant in Durango paid $1,153.84 in back pay and an additional $1,748.30 in penalties to an employee. All fines assessed to the state were waived because the restaurant paid the employee, a Labor Department spokeswoman said. The Adult Learning Center in Ignacio paid $478.54 in back pay and an additional $1,909.10 in penalties to an employee. A $350 failure to pay fee to the state was waived because the center did pay. However, the center was forced to pay a $250 fee for failure to respond to the state. Calls to the Adult Learning Center seeking comment were not returned. Several businesses and business leaders in Durango would not comment on the Wage Theft Transparency Act because they said they were not familiar with it. Cher Havind, director of the Office of Government Policy and Public Relations for the Labor Department, said not all employers on the list were found to have knowingly and willingly violated the law.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, public tours are being offered of a little-known ancient village at the head of Yellow Jacket Canyon. The Archaeological Conservancy, based in Albuquerque, owns the private Yellow Jacket Pueblo ruin, which is not open to the public except for special tours. They are offering free tours September 17th and October 8th. It is really stunning and probably the largest village in the region, said site steward Barbara Stagg, who is leading the tours. The Pueblo III site was occupied between 1160 and 1280 AD and contains more than 1,500 ground rooms, 192 kivas, 27 towers, a great house, great tower, great kiva, and a possible reservoir, according to the Conservancy. An interesting feature is a 5-foot stone monolith, believed to be a solstice marker that projected shadows across walls that are no longer standing. 4 other similar-sized monoliths have been found fallen over. There are no large structures still standing at the site, but the ground is littered with pottery shards and lithic material. Visitors learn about the site during a 2-hour tour that covers 1.5 miles. Visual depictions of the village are shown to better imagine what life was like in the sprawling village, Stagg said. The Yellow Jacket site hasn't been excavated. In 1930, according to the Conservancy, the Great House was damaged when building stones were put through a rock crusher to make gravel for the highway being built between Cortez and Dove Creek. Crow Canyon Archaeological Center of Cortez conducted extensive mapping of the site in the 1990s, revealing the immense size of the village. Tours of the Yellow Jacket site have not been widely publicized and aren't well known. Controlled small group tours are a way for the Conservancy to share sites they are preserving. Native American tribes with ancestral ties to the Yellow Jacket Pueblo are also given private tours of the site. The Archaeological Conservancy owns 500 archaeological preserves in 46 states, many of which are in Colorado, according to Jim Walker, Southwest Regional Director. Over the last 32 years, they have slowly acquired the 140 acres containing the Yellow Jacket Ruin Complex. You can sign up for the tour of the site at the Anasazi Heritage Center, 27501 Colorado Highway 184, or by contacting Stagg by email, bjstagg, that's STAGG, the number 7 at gmail.com, and space is limited. Today's High Canyon Country happening, September 9th and the 19th Annual Harvest Beer Festival is happening from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Parque Vida in Cortez, benefiting the Montezuma Land Conservancy, local people conserving local land. Birding Ouray County, Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th. Meet at the Ridgeway State Park Visitor Center at 8 a.m. They will first bird around the Visitor Center. After leaving the park, carpool to bird numerous areas in Ouray County between Kelowna and Ironton, with stops at key migration sites such as Billy Creek State Wildlife Area, Buckhorn Lakes Road, the Hummingbird House in Ridgeway, Box Canyon in Ouray, and Crystal Lake in Ironton. Lunch at the Ridgeway City Park. Join us to bird as much as you like on either day, they say. The areas birded will be similar each day. Bring a picnic lunch. Birders of all abilities are welcome, co-led by Bruce Ackerman and either John Horn or Jeff Tisichbin. Contact Bruce for more information at 727-858-5857 or Bruce Ackerman, AUD, at AOL.com. If you do not have a state park pass, let the ranger know that you are there with Black Canyon Audubon Society. Also, Saturday, September 9th, the 9th Annual Classic Car Show at the Sky Ute Casino Resort. It's happening from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check out over 20 categories, including People's Choice and Best in Show. Also included will be passenger cars, street rod, trucks, and other specialized categories. And there's no entry fee. And all of these happenings are posted on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your information on the air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday and then rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.